Hi everyone, welcome to Vivi's Corner of the Internet. I'm Vivi, and we need to talk about this article over here on the Daily Wire. I was looking for some material, like some content for you guys, and I came across this article on the Daily Wire, and I felt compelled to talk about it because it breaks my heart that this happened over in California. So I wanted to share it with you guys. So over here, the title of the article is Two-Year-Old Overdoses on Fentanyl in California as 12,000 pills are found and seized at LAX. Let's get into this article. The fentanyl crisis continues to impact California and has now led to the overdose of a 2-year-old child who authorities believe ate rainbow-colored fentanyl. I'm going to stop right there. With Halloween coming up, I urge parents to be very cautious with their children and really pay attention or go through their candy at the end of the trip, like when you guys are done like collecting all the candy when you're done trick or treating. I urge parents just to like go through all the candy before the kids even touch it because this fentanyl has been coming into the country like rampantly ever since like our administration has said that like hey, open border for everybody and like everybody coming in. And who's coming in? Mostly cartels with fentanyl trying to spread it to our youth, and now it's getting to our youngest ones, and they're doing it by having rainbow colored fentanyl that looks just like candy, so kids are like, ooh, is this candy? No, it's a very powerful drug that can potentially kill you. So I urge parents to just please be cautious with your children. And when you're trick or treating on Halloween, just like be safe out there and just, rummage through their candy before they get to it, just to be on the safe side. I remember back in the day when I was younger, they would warn us about like razor blades and like weird stuff inside the candy, just people trying to harm children. And it was horrible back then. And now it's even worse when you have very powerful drugs disguised as candy and wanting to give it to young people just so that they can overdose and potentially die. It's insane. So we go through this article here. Northern California parents have been arrested on charges of child endangerment as well as charges relating to possession of controlled substances, according to officials. The couple took their 2-year-old son to a fire department, saying they were afraid he had eaten an unknown material while someone else was watching him, according to the Butte County Sheriff's Office on Tuesday. The office noted that he was acting lethargic and showing signs of opioid poisoning, according to KTLA. A nearby medical center sent a helicopter, sorry, sent a helicopter, and medical personnel gave him naloxone to serve as an antidote to the overdose. He was then taken to the medical center to be treated and is being watched by the Butte County Children's Services Division. Officials added that detectives carried out a search warrant in a trailer where they think he consumed the fentanyl. They also discovered methamphetamine and a small amount of rainbow colored fentanyl in a silicone container in the parents' car. Detectives reportedly think that the drug, which was probably consumed by the boy, had the appearance of rainbow colored candy and had been placed in the silicone container in a form which might appeal to a child. Fentanyl has increasingly been an issue in the Golden State, even as Attorney General Rob Bonta refuses to acknowledge the role the border crisis is playing in the uptick in fentanyl overdose fatalities. Well, I'm not surprised. I don't know much about this Rob Banta guy, but if he happens to be one of those attorney generals supported by George Soros, far leftist, who really is pro crime and, yeah, glorifies crime, dehumanizes the victims, he's going to ignore this, just like every other leftist attorney general put there by Soros is going to ignore all of the atrocities happening. Of course, not surprised. In a recent examination of how fentanyl related overdose deaths are impacting rural California, the San Francisco Chronicle reported that 6 people in Butte County died of an overdose related to fentanyl in 2020. That number jumped to 42 in 2021. And of course, California doesn't do anything about it because they're a leftist state and they just ignore all the problems and just go about their day. It's sickening. California authorities also reported that 12,000 suspected fentanyl pills were discovered concealed inside boxes of candy at a TSA checkpoint in Los Angeles International Airport. The narcotics were discovered inside candy wrappers like Whoppers, Sweet Tarts, and Skittles on Wednesday morning, according to the LA County Sheriff's Office. The department announced that the suspect was trying to board a plane and was caught as he or she went through TSA screening. The person ran away and escaped, but has reportedly been identified and the investigation is ongoing. Quote, with Halloween approaching, parents need to make sure they are checking their kids' candy and not allowing them to eat anything until it has been inspected by them. Exactly what I said in the beginning. If you find anything in candy boxes that you believe might be narcotics, do not touch it and immediately notify your local law enforcement agency, the department added. Guys, this fentanyl crisis is getting out of control. And where did it primarily begin at? At the southern border, where this Democratic administration doesn't want to recognize is just letting these cartels in, letting all these illegals in. And what are they doing primarily? Looting other people's property, giving fentanyl to kids, letting them overdose and potentially die off of this stuff. And it just keeps going because we have this administration, along with all the leftist attorney generals and others in office, just ignoring the fact that we have an actual crisis going on. We have an opioid crisis, we have a fentanyl crisis, we also have a mental health crisis that no one wants to talk about with our youth. And it needs to change, it needs to stop. And I said this in another video, in my Stacey Abrams video. I urge all of you that are going to vote or are haven't voted yet and are going to vote for midterms and for the 2024 election. If you want to see any sort of change happen in this country, you would have to vote Republican. Democrats do not care about you. You can see with your own eyes what is happening in our nation. Inflation, gas prices are insane. All the bills have gone up. Credit card interests have gone up. Like we're up to our necks or possibly already drowning in all of this. Like that's the majority of Americans out there, and the Democrats really don't care. The only ones that actually care are the Republicans. Like, are all Republicans good? No. From what I'm seeing now, all Democrats, or at least the majority of them, are horrible. They're socialists and they're trying to inject communism, socialism, radical ideology all across this nation, and we have to stand up and say no. How do we do that? With our vote. A lot of people with this past election, they may not want to vote because of things that have happened. Try to be careful here on YouTube saying stuff. But the way I see it and the way a lot of Americans see it, in order for us to get out of what's happening right now, we would have to vote Republican and make sure that they keep their word on wanting to change this country for the better. Because as of right now, the Democrats are burying us and they're burying us deep into the ground. America last is their agenda. Everybody else comes first, we come last. And we can't let them have that. We can't let them continue to do that. We need to vote Republican. We need to vote them out of office. Let me know what you guys think of all of this in the comments below. Thank you so much for visiting my little corner of the internet. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it out there, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and ring the notification bell so you are notified of my next upload. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye!